Good evening, HHS staff. This is Colleen with some information about our virtual parent-teacher conferences that will be taking place October 20th from 5 to 7 via Zoom sessions. So why the date change? Many teachers expressed they're not ready. We've had a lot of questions, and plus we're transitioning from a live conference to a virtual one, and we basically just wanted to give everybody more time to prepare. So the new date will be October 20th. We have expectations for conferences, what we'd like you to do prior to the conferences, how we want to serve families, and we want you ready. We want the best information out there, and we want this to be successful. If for some reason you cannot do the new date of October 20th, you will have to arrange another time to do your conferences with either Misty or me. Our major priorities for the conferences are two things. First, we want to inform parents about your specific classes. So we want you to explain how you would find information on your Canvas pages, explain classroom rules, expectations, and policies specific to your class. So think about your late work policy. Do you accept late work? If so, how many days late? Is there a penalty per day? The other part of our priorities is informing parents about resources available to help students. So we want parents to know what we're doing to help them if their student is struggling. And we want them to understand kind of our process for assisting struggling students. Our expectations are basically that you have a screencastify that explains your classroom rules, procedures, and expectations prior to the conferences taking place. So if you did a screencastify at the start of the school and it had that kind of information in there, you might be already set and not need to do anything. If you didn't, how did you get that information to students and parents? How do they know what your class's expectations are, what your policies are? We would like you to create a screencastify and have that sent out prior to the conferences. And once again, like I said, if you had one that would qualify from the beginning of the school year, then you don't need to create a new one. It's only those of you who did not create one for the start of the school year. So by sending this information out ahead of the conferences, you will have all the time to just focus on the specific kids and not explaining how your class operates. It's just focusing on the kids, and it's the best use of that time. Some questions parents may have is what are we doing for failing students and students who are struggling? So just to let you guys know, we are exchanging live learners and e-learners. So we will be allowing some of our e-learners to come back into the building. And this is going to be strategically done. We're going to look at students who are failing, who are not doing well academically, who may be having mental health issues by being at home. And we're going to focus on bringing those students back. We will still maintain CDC guidelines. We won't go over our caps for our classes. We'll still maintain 6 feet of social distancing, but we do have to bring some of these students back in order for them to be successful. We'll also be starting tutoring. For some, it will be mandatory and part of an MTSS process in their plan. We'll be extending academic assist during power hour, and we do refer students for MTSS process, and we may be putting them in ICU, may be transferring them to Aspire, or maybe offering tutoring, suggesting tutoring, or mandating tutoring. John Mock is sending out tutoring openings that we'll have available. If you're interested in becoming a tutor after school, you will just follow the instructions on his email. We'll be creating MTSS plans that have mandatory tutoring, and we'll be looking at offering Zoom tutoring and assisting for ICU and special education students and our e-learners who are unable to come into the building for tutoring. We'll also be implementing some changes to Power Hour. We will be changing to have our SEL and CCR components on Mondays at the start of class. So the first 30 minutes will be devoted to our employer expectations, any kind of training that needs to be done, and then we'll be alternating. So one week will be Debbie Mathis and social emotional learning. The next week will be employability. And so we'll just try to alternate between the two, never going over 30 minutes if we can avoid it. Our goal will always be to be under 30 minutes so that we preserve that last 60 minutes for academic assist. Wednesdays, we're going to try not to do anything except academic assist. So we're going to try to give that as more of a focused approach to tutoring, assisting, and giving students time to work on classes. And hopefully this will help with some of our kids. So our expectation is send out a Screencastify prior to parent-teacher conferences. Like I said, you might have already done this at the start of the school year, and then be available to Zoom 5 to 7 p.m. on October 20th, unless you have prearranged another time. What do you need to have in your Screencastify? So please refer to back to slide 3, but it's those rules, procedures, policies of your class, how they're going to find information, how to navigate your Canvas page. And then many of you already did this at the beginning of the year, so you don't have to worry about doing a new one. This is just for people who did not already send that out. How will we actually schedule those virtual conferences? We will be using a sign up program called Setmore that automatically creates a Zoom link for parents. You'll get direction sheet that was created for you, and it'll teach you how to create the account and make a calendar of the time slots available. When you create your account, it'll prompt you to connect with your Zoom account, and then just watch out for that direction sheet. That's going to guide you through it and teach you how to do it. Very, very simple and user friendly. If you decide to keep October 6th, if that's the only day that would work for you and you're not able to do the October 20th, make sure that you send out your Screencastify prior to Friday at the end of the day. The preference is obviously to move to the 20th or another day pre-approved by the co-principal. We will be offering assistance on some conferences. So if you have any conferences that you think are going to be a little tricky or you're worried about or you think would be beneficial to have an admin sit in on, we are going to be available during that time. So just let us know so that we make sure that we don't double book ourselves, and any of us will be willing to assist you with those. If you have further questions, please reach out to Misty or me. We'll be more than happy to help you through the Screencastify process or answer questions and help this be a successful virtual parent-teacher conference. Thanks so much. Have a great evening.